guys. Today I'm super excited to speak with two-time Grammy award-winning super producer Hit Boy, who is known for creating mega hits for major artists like Kanye West, Travis Scott, Beyonce, and Mariah Carey. Thank you so much, Hit Boy, for joining us. We know you are super busy. You've had an incredible year, so we really appreciate the time.
No, I appreciate y'all reaching out for sure.
So despite this pandemic, 2020 has been really big for you. You executive produced Nas's latest album, which came out in August.
Yeah.
And then that was followed by Big Sean's Detroit 2, which came out in September. I want to actually start there and start with King's Disease, Nas's project. Like, what was your creative process like putting this together and then releasing it in a pandemic?
It was crazy because we started before the pandemic. We started, before quarantine, all that. That's why a lot of people think we played off the, everything with the King's Disease title. But we already had the title locked in before everything went down. So it was just crazy. It was just crazy timing. I had already been working on Sean's album since like 2018. And I started working with Nas on King's Disease in February. And I was already just in album mode from working with Sean and so many different artists. Like when Nas came through, I just I don't know, I just saw the feel, like I just saw what he needed. I just, it was just super organic, man. So, for it to come out and be received on this level, like it's unreal.
Yeah, no, for sure. So like, how does that compare to putting D2 together? What was that like?
It was two totally different processes, like two totally different artists. They don't think alike, and it's like I had to capture different sonics. I had to capture like a very modern, updated sound with Detroit 2, but also, I had to keep the classic integrity for Nas and still kind of make it modern in his own way. So it was a challenge, but it was fun at the end of the day because, I've been doing this for so long and, I made so many beats. It's just like, putting full albums together on this level is just like it's a pleasure.
Do you think that the pandemic has affected your creative process or artistic approach at all?
I mean, it just gave me more time to just focus. A lot of people was at the crib, a lot of people just chilling. I got to spend time with my son and just make music, like really just keep it basic, versus when the world was open, it's a lot more things to do. So it's a lot more things to distract you. And once we shut down, I just was like, man, it's nothing to do but elevate right now.
And I'm glad you're really taking advantage of this time. But it seems like you're always juggling multiple projects, working with multiple artists and putting stuff together. How do you determine who to work with and when? And how do you really juggle all of this at once?
It's always an organic process. Like when people come through, like it's not like honestly I just play music and they connect with it, man. Like I don't know, I just got like a real respect with artists, and they when they come through they want to give me their best. They want to give me their best verses, they want to give me their best hooks. So it's like it's just a blessing for real.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. But okay, I do want to shift gears a little bit because in addition to putting out this great work, you've also stepped up and been really public about the business side of things. So you recently responded to one of Kanye West's viral tweets where he was arguing that artists should be entitled to ownership of their master recordings as opposed to, the old way of doing things where an artist did not get that type of ownership, but it was sort of like the company investing and developing into artists, and they would say like, oh, that costs a lot of money. But during his criticism, Kanye also went as far as to say and to call the business institution, the music business and the NBA, and I quote, modern day slave ships. In response to that, you also blasted the music industry, saying that the deal you signed 14 years ago is what your lawyers describe as the worst publishing contract they have ever seen. You also called out Universal and the chairman by name. Like, it was this whole big controversy. So I do want to just talk about that. Like, what incentivized you and motivated you to even respond to Kanye in this way?
Definitely is something that's been, like irking my soul forever. You know what I'm saying? Like obviously, I've been doing this for a long time, and I didn't even realize I was in a bad deal until I made a actual hit, like a real, like, super like big song. So I was getting all these placements for, about 4 years into being in my publishing deal. And once I made a hit, I'm like, okay, so how does it work from here? Like, well, how do I get that big check, or how do I, you know what I'm saying? And then that's when I realized, like, oh, okay, I'm in this deal to where they don't have to advance me, or they don't have to, basically treat me like, what my worth is. And when I saw the Kanye stuff, I just was like, man, I feel like it's a perfect time to really speak on this. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm coming from both sides. Like, I understand what he's saying as far as, the artist should own their masters and own most of their stuff for sure. Like, especially once you get to a point where you made so much money for them, it should just be a understanding like, okay, this is how this is going to work. This is how you can own your stuff. And just for me to be in this deal for so long, I just feel like it's wrong, and they know it's wrong. There are people, I don't want to put names out there, but people have expressed like this is unethical, it's unjust. We know you're basically worth more than this, but business is business. So I'm just like, I fell back into a corner, to where I was like, I have to speak on this. And I saw that a lot of creatives connected with that. I got a lot of DMs, I got a lot of calls and texts from, a lot of people that, a lot of big artists, a lot of people respect, new artists, young people, like, man, like inspired to not sign crazy stuff. Like, it's
Mm.
just, it was a lot. It inspired a lot.
And just to give us some context, so you signed this deal, I believe, when you were 19. You're
Right.
33 now. So this was 14 years ago. You're still operating under the same contract that Universal gave you. What
Yeah.
is so unfair about this deal?
It's the language in it, the way they set it up for you to not advance through it. Like I just like, and for an example, I got a friend right now who has a big song. He produced on a big song, and he has like less of a percentage than I had on like Niggas in Paris, like Sicko Mode, all these big records. And Universal didn't have to. They've only advanced me and risked 50K when I was 19. I've made millions for them, so it's like they only had to risk that. Like, my boy just got a crazy advance from just having one song. I made hella big songs, you know what I'm saying? So for them to have me in this deal, they can still treat me like I'm that 19-year-old kid who hasn't done nothing because of the language in the contract, in a way that they don't have to count my percentages. And they have things in the contract like it has to be released on a major, like on a CD. Like, we don't even make CDs no more. So it's just a lot of unfair language in the contract that just is holding me back.
Is it is the confit indefinite? Does it you can't renegotiate it?
There are people in the Universal building who have expressed verbally that the way my deal is set up, I will never get out of it.
Wow. And what
And
do your lawyers say about that?
my lawyers, they're just trying to get it, into a better place. And this is the thing, I have talked, about this with them. And my thing is, I've already been in the deal for 14 years. I've already made so many hits for so many different artists. Y'all want me to sign another extension with y'all for an advance, really, which is just money that I'm already about to make anyway. Like, y'all not risking nothing. So y'all really only ever had to risk 50K on Hit Boy, like, for 14 years. Like, let me go. Y'all got y'all money's worth. Like, I just want to be able to, I signed this deal 1 year out of high school. I didn't know nothing, you know what I'm saying? Like, I never had family who understood publishing. I had an uncle who was in a group. They did their thing. They performed a lot. They did well in the early 90s, but he never was heavy on the publishing. So he couldn't teach me anything about that. I didn't know, so I signed this deal. Nobody told me I would be in it for life.
Mm.
Or because I mean, even at 19, I would have said no, but they didn't explain it like that.
Yeah, that's really deep. Do you have you gotten any backlash from Universal? I know you talked about the support you've gotten from other artists. Do you think anyone is has trying to take like
I'm sure,
revenge or something like that?
sure behind closed doors, people, are upset, but at the end of the day, like, are you going to think about them being upset, or are you going to read my post and be like, this kid did this many things and he's been in this deal for 14 years and y'all not treating him right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how y'all feel. I've been in a deal for 14 years. Y'all don't know what that feel like. You know what I'm saying? Y'all
Mm.
wouldn't allow y'all kids to be in no deal. Y'all all music people. Y'all kids probably make music too. You wouldn't allow that. So why would you know? And you express that it's unjust, it's unethical, but still business is business. But it's like, you know, and I am a black person, you know what I'm saying? I don't have that protection in the game. I don't have that, person that's going to have that power and be like, look, man, this is not right. So it's like it's just deep.
It is deep. And actually, in an interview I read that you did with Variety, you said that, and I quote, "I'm not straight financially." And that
I did not
you,
say that. They
oh, go
misquoted me.
ahead.
I said there's no reason I like basically that I shouldn't be like exactly where I need to be financially. You know what I'm saying? Like I said right after that I'm not fucked up. I'm not doing bad. I'm not in a bad position, but I'm not eating the way I know I could be eating. You know what I'm saying? And I am making money, royalties. I've been in the green for years. Like they don't. I never owe them money. They owe me money every quarter. You know what I'm saying? So they just collecting free money at this point off of an original $50,000, you know, advance when it's like every quarter I'm bringing in, a crazy amount. So it's like I just want to be able to just get out of the situation.
And where exactly is all that money going? You're not seeing
I'm,
it. Where's all
no,
the
no,
money going?
no. Well, I am seeing.
Okay.
I'm talking about the money I am seeing, but that's the
Okay.
thing. For them, that's free money because they haven't had to invest anything. They haven't had to put anything in me. Like that's the whole point. Is I'm making these royalties. I should be advancing through my deal. I should be out of my deal. You know what I'm saying? Because I am making money and I am steadily. My volume has gone up. Like I'm doing whole albums. I'm doing half of an album versus early in my career I would get off one or two songs here and there. But now I'm doing all these records, and it's like we should be able to come to the table and look at just whoever the head of Universal is. Look at my discography. Like, come on,
Oh
like
yeah.
it's ridiculous. It's not even realistic for people to get all these records off on all these people.
Yeah, and just for those who aren't as familiar or know all the hits that you produce, like you said, we're talking N words in Paris, Click with Big Sean, Flawless by Beyonce,
Back to the
Selena
Mill,
Gomez. Go
Nipsey
ahead.
Hussle,
Yep,
just a lot of records, man, that it
it
touched
is.
the culture and impacted. Like nobody still to this day has made a song that you could perform 10 times in a row at a concert besides niggas in Paris.
Hmm.
No producer, no artist has made a song you could perform 10 times in a night. Like nobody's gonna honor that. Nobody is gonna be like, this kid really did something for the culture and let's honor him by doing right by him. I guess not.
Yeah, and then the production value on that track in particular is crazy. But back to what you were saying about producing these whole albums. In the interview with Variety, it also states that you said you are producing these albums sometimes out of necessity because, like, obviously, you don't feel like you could just do one track here or there. Can you elaborate on that?
For sure. Like I mean, just even on a personal level, I started to realize as a producer, the levels I want to hit, I'm not gonna get that by just doing one or two songs because people not gonna connect the brand that way. Like I have to really buckle down and lock in with the artists who want to lock in with me. I'm not forcing nothing. I'm not going over my head. I'm just like the people who work with me when they pull up, I'm gonna have, it's like they pulling up to Saks. It's like they pulling up to Barney's. Like they gonna get some pieces when they pull up. Period.
Um, what financial lessons do you think you've learned after working over a decade in this business?
Man, too many. I just like bumping my head, you know what I'm saying? Like getting major label deals and artist deals and understanding like, oh, you could run up $1 million studio bill by being there for a few months working on your album. Then you gotta pay for marketing, you gotta do all these things. So just on that front and then just publishing wise, I'm just like, man, if I would have not signed this deal, you never know. Like I could be eating on a whole different level. I should, but like I'm telling you, like I just said, I got homies who are getting lower percentages than I have on just as big records that are eating, you know what I'm saying? And the way they have my contract set up, they know that they just collecting free money at this point.
In one of your IG posts, you said, and I quote, slave deals are still very real, rampant in 2020.
Yeah.
What do you think it will take for this to actually change? And do you think that by speaking up like you did, like Ye did, and other people are doing, that will lead to the change?
I mean, I see it sparking for sure. Like, when I put that post up, I thought I was going, I mean, and not to say I was even trying to go rogue or go too crazy, but I was speaking from the heart. I was just being real. I had people DMing me like the same, you know, people from the signed to the same company who want to take the CEOs' faces and put them on billboards down Sunset Boulevard and say they are criminals. Like that's how that's how these publishing deals are making people feel. Like they want to get they want to get billboards off of these major streets and put these people faces on them because they're not being treated right. That's not okay. Like for you to be dedicating your heart and your soul into your work every day. Like when you make music, you literally just coming from thin air, like from the soul, like making something. So for you to do that and it not be honored, it makes you feel like you want to put somebody's face on a billboard and say you are a criminal, like you're wrong.
And again, this is because you guys don't feel like you're getting paid all that you're worth, because the outside looking in to
Well, it's more
average.
so, it's more so about the advancement through the deals. That's the trickery in it. Like it's like, okay, you can make as much money. I've been making money. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I make money, but I'm not advancing through my deals. So at the end of the day, they know that, and it's like the way it's structured is for me to just be stuck in this deal, paying them free money for years.
Mm-hmm. And you know, to the point that I was gonna make, the outside looking in is, we see the lavish cars, we see the videos, we see the jewelry, we see the ice,
Yeah.
we see, you know, the houses and everything, and then we see these songs becoming mainstream and just blowing up. I don't think a lot of us understand, like you said, the costs that go into it, what's rented, what needs to be paid back, what percentage you actually take home. Do you know, like if somebody rolls up in a Lamborghini and a fur after the video shoot, are they giving that back? Like, what can you just
I
talk
mean,
more
well,
about?
you can't really call it. Like there are people that's really doing it, and then there are people who rent stuff. They rent jewelry, they rent, you know what I'm saying, cars, all that, houses. But you can't really call it. It's just like some people are in contracts where they're content, where they're happy, like where they're flourishing. So that's all great. But I was personally just speaking on my situation and
Mm.
just trying to get that out there, like that, you know, even somebody who made a record as big as Sicko Mode or Niggas in Paris or Flawless for Beyonce, all these records could still be in a messed up deal, and that's not right.
What advice would you give young producers just entering the game now?
Learn as much as you can, study as much as you can, and really, as far as on the music front, just stick to the music. Like know that that's what's gonna get you to where you want to go. Like you could try to 6ix9ine your way to the top. You could troll. You could do all the internet stuff. That's cool. That only lasts for so long, but you could last in the game if you really own the music and your music is dope. You know.
Mm. I do want to talk a little bit more about Ye, because after, you know, for those who don't know, you guys had a big falling out. You worked so closely together. You know, he called you the golden child. You posted that up. And you actually recently posted that not working with Kanye used to kill you.
Right.
Ever now that you guys have had this public mm, exchange, have you been able to reconcile at all?
Nah, I still ain't talked to him. Like, you know, I feel like it's something deeper than the surface, you know. And it was always, you know, really the Beyonce thing is just one thing. It's a million things I could tell people, but I'm not even finna take that route. But, you know, I always just felt like he loved my music, but it's like a personal, like he's a producer too, he's an artist, and he's not finna let me just shine like that, period, point blank, you know. So at the end of the day, it is what it is, you know.
But didn't you feel like he was a big brother? I mean, if somebody's mentoring you and teaching you the skills and
Yeah, but
showing you.
I mean, well, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I definitely, you know, it was a lot of positive things, but there were moments where I'm like, I don't know if this guy really rock with me like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the truth.
Okay. We could leave it at that. Do you think maybe in the future would you be open to having
Man,
some type of
I'm in
reconciliation with
the
him?
greatest place, man. I'm
Okay.
chilling. He could pull up right now. Like I guarantee that he would have a hard album if he pulled up on me right now.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't care who he working with. If he pull up on me, he gonna get back to Kanye. Period.
Oh, you could bring back the old yay.
Swear to God.
Woo. I think we will all, well, we are all rooting for that. Um, what is the future of the business of entertainment and music? Is it going completely independent? Like what is it that's the
I
future
see
of
a
this
lot of
business?
that, you know, and now you have, you know, you got examples of it. You got people like, you know, even like a Russ, you know, something like that, like an independent artist. He producing, writing, mixing all his own stuff. Like that's amazing, you know, for a true creative. So I feel like if you really own it, you can just maneuver how you need to. But you know, sometimes you do need that helping hand. Like it's everybody in different situations. So I do feel like seeing people, you know, be independent and be successful as they are, like it's going to inspire a lot more people to take that route.
Before we wrap up, what other projects? I know you've been doing your own thing as an artist as well. You released your solo project. What other projects can we expect from you as we bring 2020 to a close and maybe at the top of 2021?
Man, in about 2 weeks, I got an album dropping with my boy Benny the Butcher, one of the illest rappers on the East Coast. Like solid, thorough dude. Like we got some ill music, man. I feel like it's gonna take people back to that era, like of like, oh, this is real rap. Like there's no fluff to it, there's no extras to it. It's straight bars, straight rap. So I think people are gonna enjoy it. So that I'm working with Justin Timberlake, working with her. Um, yeah, just you know, I'm all across the board.
You definitely are. And again, thank you so much for making the time to speak with us. Keep making that dope music. We love it. We support you.
Thank you.